and welcome to the round 20 episode of Lachie Does Footy. First up, we'll be looking at the AFLW International Rules squads. Well, North Melbourne have got many players selected in their squad. Jasmine Garner, Libby Birch, Ash Bradell, Talia Randall, Emma Carney, Vicky Wall, Erica O'Shea, Amy Gavin Mangan, and Blathan Bogue have been selected for the Roos. And, this will be a great chance for the VFLW players to impress in their pre-season in their game against St Kilda. To see if they can get the final spot on the North roster or maybe another team's roster. The one I'm really hoping gets back into the AFL women's system after this game against St Kilda, Michaela Hyde. And I reckon the team that could bring her in, if not the Roos, I'm probably thinking the Crows. As Adelaide are looking to get their AFLW relevance back soon. And I reckon the second team on the radar, other than North, third team I meant, I hate to say this, third team on the radar, I'm going to have to go with the Power. At least it's still a South Australian club, though. Anyways, back to the round 19 action for the Mags. Geelong versus St Kilda at the Cattery. The Cats got the job done by 27 points. And I thought it was going to be retro weekend for Geelong that week. But I just had to look up. The retro weekend's actually against Essendon in 2 weeks' time. And the final score was 15 goals to 12, 102 to St Kilda's 11-9, 75. I think I'm not going to tell much about the stats for this one because my laptop's currently 0% and it's taken forever to load. Anyways, I think enough about the round 19 predictions. And I want you to be. There
you go.
Thank you. Thank you for your help, Zach. And also, we've got Sydney and Adelaide at the SCG. What a win that was for Adelaide with a Cron. 13-9-87 to the Swans, 10-11-71. First team to beat Sydney at the SCG this season. Papley and Fogarty played great games for the Crows and Swans, respectively. Papley 4 and the suspended Fogarty's kicked 4. Philthorpe kicked 2. So was Warner and Rowbottom for Sydney. That's found the Geelong stats. Graham Myers kicked 3 for the Cats. Jay Polkinghorn with 2. I nearly got it confused with former Brisbane player James Polkinghorn. As it's just the same name, Jay Polkinghorn. Liam Ryan with 2 for the Saints. Max Hall 2 for the Saints. Ryan Marshall. Well, he's actually impressing in his Geelong audition. Ollie Dempsey kicked 2 for the Cats. So did Ollie Henry. Geelong's best player on the ground was Bailey Smith, while St Kilda's was Ryan Marshall. Wayne Miller was Crow's best, while the Swans' best is Callum Mills. Port versus the Dockers at Adelaide Oval. With Port Adelaide giving it a really good crack against the Dockers, I think I pretty much found who was their best player all along. It was the coach, Josh Carr. He's still been Port Adelaide's best player for over 20 years. And I reckon I found a guy who's basically their other best player, Joe Richards. He's kicked the goal and had 137 points in AFL Fantasy. Fremantle's best player was Caleb Sarong. The goal kickers in the Port versus Dockers game. Jai Amos with 4, Mitch for Dockers, so did free for Tracy and Frederick. Mitch Zato kicked free for the Power. Corey Durden 2 and Dante Vicentini 2. North Melbourne and Melbourne at Marvel Stadium. Melbourne by 16 points. Matthew Jefferson with 4. Jacob Royan 2. Latrell Pickett kicked 2. For North, Paul Curtis 3. Charlie Spargo 2 and Jack Darling 2. Tom Sparrow was Melbourne's best player, while North's best was Harry Sheasel. Collingwood versus the Carlton Bluebirds at the MCG. Collingwood by 21 points. Tim Membry with 3 for the Pies. 2 to McCreary, McStay, and Ned Long as for Carlton. Ainsworth, McGovern and Cripps were their only multiple goal kickers. Cripps was Carlton's best player, while obviously Collingwood's best was Nick Dacos. West Coast and Brisbane at Optus Stadium. West Coast still cannot win with this frickin' ochre. They've only won 2 games in that Guernsey for 26 years. 2! My suggestion to West Coast, bring back the St Kilda tricolour design as your retro Guernsey next year. At least you wore that in your premiership year of 2006. I remember the Crows used to lose to West Coast when West Coast wore that Guernsey. And for West Coast, Waterman kicked 5, Shanahan 3. For Brisbane, Loman with 4 and Charlie Cameron 2. Bailey Williams was the Eagles' best player, while Brisbane's was Josh Dunkley. Richmond and Hawthorn at the G. Lewis and Watson, the only multiple goal kickers that game for Hawthorn. And basically the game itself. Tigers only they've had 7 singles. They had 6 singles and they weren't that good. If Hawthorn didn't kick straight and Richmond kicked straight, the game would have been a draw. Taranto was Richmond's best player, while Hawthorn's best was MP. Suns and Bulldogs at People First Stadium. Suns lose by 9 points. The Bont with 3 for the Dogs. Kennedy with 3 for the Dogs. Lombard and Petrarca were the Suns' multiple goal kickers. Took Miller and Matt Rao took the best players honours for Gold Coast, while the Dogs is Bontempelli. Essendon beat the Giants by 3 points, 10-7 to 8-16. And that was a great statement win for the Dons. Round 20 coming up. I think I got it. Round 20, Crows and Collingwood at Adelaide Oval. I reckon, I'm confident, I'm going Adelaide by 16 points. Melbourne and Geelong at the MCG, I reckon this is going to be an even Stevens match. I reckon Melbourne by 1 point. Freo and West Coast at Optus. I'm going the Dockers by, I reckon, 44. Carlton and Gold Coast at Marvel. I got a feeling the Blues will win that one. Hawks and Essendon at the MCG. Essendon are coming off a win, while Hawthorn have come off a 70-point win. I reckon the Hawks by a similar margin. GWS should be able to beat Sydney at... surely the Giants need to bounce back against Sydney in the Battle of the Bridge. Bulldogs should comfortably win that one against Richmond. As I'm going the Dogs by 8 goals. Brisbane and Port at the Gabba. Well, I reckon the Lions will obviously win that one by about 52. At least to erase the pain memory of my Crows losing to Brisbane early in the season. North Melbourne and St Kilda at Marvel, the last game of the round. I reckon St Kilda. I'm calling it an upset. I reckon the Roos might actually win it by a point. Anyways, that's it for the round 20 episode, and we'll be back next week for round 21.